sabi ni Marcos sa inyo, kayo at yung mga fellow communists mo.
If it is any consolation, I am going to make it into a civic action group. Kaya naging PhilCAG, if you remember. Philippine Civic Action Group.
Yun,
kasi doon sa Korea, yung 10th and 20th BCTs, yun talagang PEFTOC.
Expeditionary Force.
Yan. Pero yung sa Vietnam, Civic Action Group.
Nais kong i-highlight kasi yan, kita natin bilang presidente, nagbabalanse si Marcos between the demands of the U.S., all-powerful U.S., and the ideal perspectives from our legislators, binalanse niya. And he creatively found a compromise. Ito na lang, hindi barilan ang papasukan ng mga sundalong Pilipino, kundi construction ng highways, schools, and so on, di ba?
Now, what happened there was the PhilCAG went to Vietnam until, I think, the end of the war. And President Fidel Ramos was quite familiar with this because he headed it. And Ramos, being a veteran soldier, and he came from Korea, he knows the vagaries of all these things that happen. No? So, the government of Vietnam has not forgotten that, I think. So when we...
How do they display this, not forgetting that civic action group instead of combat troops?
Well, they don't say much, no? They will not say much about praises or criticism, but you can feel that their traditional courtesies and hospitality was there. Nung kami ni Gon ay pumunta doon, at si Louie, and napuna ko doon na parang walang galit na tao doon. Parang puro nagtatrabaho lang, kanya-kanya.
Well, I discussed that with some of the retired generals who were at that time lieutenants, General Sorquillo, for one, and in discussions with General Mison and others. And sabi ni Sorquillo nga na hindi tayo tinuturing na kalaban. And si General Almonte had stories about him having drinking with the Viet Cong and the...
This is because if you are a student of history, you will know that in things past in the midst of history, the Southeast Asians are one blood brother group in this region. That's why the flora and the fauna are the same as ours. The Vietnamese look like Filipinos. Meron pa doon nakamukha si Dr. Horado. At sinabi ko na yung kay pala, yung samahan na yon, that relations culturally, economically, and the intercourse of trade during years past should not only be revived, should not only be resuscitated, but cemented. At mananatili sa kasaysayan natin na ang mga Vietnamese at mga Pilipino ay magkakapatid nung araw pa man. Kaya sinabi ko nga na ang China naman, hindi dapat nagagalit sa mga taga Southeast Asia kung dahil lamang sa dagat na yan. Sapagkat karamihan sa mga taga Southeast Asia ay may dugong Chino. Kaya hindi tayo dapat nag-aaway-away. Kaya itong ang Friendship Association, kami ni Gon ay nagpuporma na kami ng trade mission. We are going to bring in scholars from Vietnam, and at the same time, we will send scholars to them. I'm organizing a cultural show to be shown in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. We are now in the process of looking for ESL.
Yeah, English as a second
teachers, no?
Language course. Yeah.
Oo. Sapagkat kung ikukumpara ko ang Vietnam at Pilipinas, medyo backward pa rin sila. At the risk of being criticized na lagi na lamang ang Pilipinas ang menos. Hindi naman tayo menos sa kanila. Unang-una, sila dapat turuan mag-English. Sapagkat sila ngayon, ang Vietnam, ay pamilya na ng buong mundo. At sila ay nakahanda sila to be in the milieu of the global opportunities nowadays. And that one, we admire. We admire Vietnam for that. So, iyan, kamentong ang aming inihanda. Cultural exchange, educational exchange. Business. We will open up a English second language course in one of their universities, and we will send teachers to them, to teach them, upang magkaintindihan na. Yung Vice Prime Minister nga na sumalubong sa amin, paring Gon, huwag na nating i-pronounce ang pangalan, baka magkamali tayo, no? We were so honored by being met and invited by the Vice Prime Minister of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, and we are thankful for that opportunity. He's very young enough to be my son, but he sounded very knowledgeable about world affairs, and you can see the sincerity that the Vietnamese people are really motivated in befriending us.
Yeah. That's good to hear about the cultural exchanges. What will they have in return? They'll send cultural troops also, and
yes, yes, and I understand. I was told that there are many Vietnamese who invest abroad, and they are looking at the Philippines. At may nagsabi nga sa amin na very prophetic itong pag-set up namin ng Philippine-Vietnam Friendship Association, sapagkat doon lamang sa mga ihidwaan sa West Philippine Sea, South China Sea pa bang tawag natin dyan? Ayaw na nila.
Well, malawak yun eh. Yung West Philippine Sea is a particular part.
Yan ay kinakailangan na very prophetic sapagkat nagkasama ang mga Vietnamese. That's the Vice Prime. You are looking at the picture of the Vice Prime Minister of Vietnam. We are very honored. We were so pleased and honored to be welcomed by him in his office in Hanoi. And then may I show you some photographs of me with Dr. Horado.
Can we take a look at the other one? Yeah, inahanda pa.
Louis Ariola, who were with us in this visit. And you will note that in the exchange of pleasantries, si Gon, binigyan niya ang Vice Prime Minister ng English version ng
ito.
No Limit Tangere.
Okay.
And the El Filibusterismo. We also
ito yung
gave
exchange of gifts.
Exchange of gifts.
Yeah. A picture about the Philippines. They have beautiful beaches. We also have beautiful beaches. But one thing that I found out is Vietnam might have already more tourists than us.
Definitely, yes. I think so.
Bakit bang tourism natin puro pa-formal lang or what?
Well, there's another...
There's Gon. That's me there. That's the Vice Prime Minister. And then that's the President of the Association of Vietnam Friendship Associations all over the world. And that's Louis.
And that's Mr. Ariola.
Okay.
So that's it, Kamentong.
Okay. Now, you mentioned...
Excuse me, don't be surprised if there are Filipinos in Vietnam who might be watching us right now.
Well, I would not be surprised because even when I went there in '99 and the singers in the hotels were Filipinos. Mga banda. So, but I had guests from Vietnam in around 1993 at dinala ko sa mga malls natin. And they namamangha pa sila sa escalator, Pero I'm sure that has changed now, di ba? However, you mentioned we are almost the same. The white sand beaches, the bays and so on. We are rice eaters. So anong alam natin, we are buying rice from Vietnam. What can the Philippines sell Vietnam? Of course, English language teachers is one. But other than that, we also have the same coconut trees. Di ba? Nandun, meron din silang coconut trees, may rice. We are importing a lot of cream dory. Yung isda galing sa Mekong River to the Philippines. So what can the Philippines offer Vietnam?
There are so many Kamentong in the field of technology about the computers and many other things na nasa sa pamahalaan natin. Hindi ko sasabing gobyerno sapagkat gobyerno rhymes with impyerno. Kaya tatawagin ko itong pamahalaan natin. Kailangan hindi myopic ang paningin. Mag-expand na tayo. Sa tourists lamang, talo na tayo. We went to Halong Bay and we were the guest of Paradise Suites. Paradise paradise tour doon. We toured Halong
How many
Bay.
hours kayo doon sa barko na umiikot-ikot?
Almost 2 hours.
Ay, lagpas pa rin.
Matagal tayo.
Mga 2 to
And
5, 3 hours.
Gon was so impressed as well as I am, but it is with the UNESCO heritage the site by
But
the way.
tell me, did you go to Hanoi or Saigon lang kayo? Or
Hindi, Hanoi lang.
Hanoi kayo lang, oo.
Doon medyo hindi pa masyadong westernized. Unlike Saigon, which is now Ho Chi Minh City, kaya doon maraming Pilipino, very westernized sila. What they called before the decadent Western culture is the one that's keeping up the economy.
Yeah.
And there are many Filipinos in South area. I will not say South Vietnam. In Ho Chi Minh City, no? There are many Filipinos there, and they love the Vietnamese people.
Yeah. Yeah, Gon, you were going to say something. You were going to add to what the senator was discussing.
Well, yeah. Nung nandun kami sa boat ride, it took 3 hours, Padre. Nakita namin, of course, the natural beauty, yung rocks, gano'n, no?
Parang 100 islands natin, pero mas malaki ang mga ano.
Mas malaki.
Mas malaki ang mga bundok nila.
In other words,
sa dagat.
sabi nga ni Ed, meron din tayo niyan. Ang nanotice ko nga, ang mga tao, talagang focused sila na developin natin ito, dito tayo maraming kayamanang naghihintay na ma-exploit. Merong consciousness, maramdaman mo eh. Alright, na yun medyo kinukulang sa atin. Na masyado tayong light in humor eh.
Ewan ko lang kung nag-iba na, but when we were there in 99, sometime there, every tourist guide would bring us back to the history of Vietnam. Yung mga battles dito, battles doon, itong panalo namin dito, year 1500, 1700, very historically conscious. I don't know the tourist guide this time, if they had focused on history also ng Vietnam.
Okay, let me say something before Ed says something.
Yes. So,
Ang nanotice ko, ito hindi lang ngayon, but dating back to that time, 15 years ago, nung magpapalit sila sa sistema natin, buhat noon, hindi na sila masyadong excited pag-uusapan ng Dien Bien Phu, na pinagtatalo nila yung France, ayaw nilang pag-usapan ng Quezon, where they were ready to destroy the United States Army. Naligtas lamang sa Paris Peace Talks, if you remember, Kamentong. Alright. Yung kanilang heroism, ina-underplay. Parang sinabi nga sa amin after 300 years of continuous war, meron lang 6 na years lang yata daw.
walang gera.
Oo, so gustong gusto sila katahimik.
Nabanggit ni Paring Gon na iba ang struktura doon. Dito sa atin, doon kasi, ang napuna ko, walang mga strukturang slam na may mga goma ng sasakyan doon sa bubong, na may mga nagtatambay, na mga nakakarsunsilyo, yung mga ginan ng tahanan, nagpapasuso. Doon puro nagtatrabaho. At saka walang ganun na mga struktura.
well, merong mga
May ang housing nila, and they were helped by the government. And to think that we were ahead in having housing agencies in our country.
Merong nababanggit sa akin yung ibang mga bumibisita sa Vietnam. And I noticed it myself then. I don't know how it is now. Pero halos wala silang makita daw na mga sobrang matatabang tao.
Wala na.
Wala, no?
Kaya nung kami nasa Halong Bay, Kamentong, si Dr. Gon Jurado was not appreciating the rocks formation or the ocean. He was appreciating the girl attending to him.
Hindi. Kapareho din sa atin. Kaya lang medyo, a lot more slimmer ladies. Pero in terms of beauty, walang tatalo sa atin.
Wala nang tatalo sa Pilipinas. Pero
pag nag-uusap kaming lalaki, man to man ka nga, ang sa atin, number 1 pa rin.
Okay, so what do you see looking forward to a year and 2 years from now between our two countries?
Well, I'll tell you, Kamentong, we should all be happy with the fact that the Vietnamese or the Vietnam government has made it, I think, a policy to befriend and to be a part of the milieu in the world. No? And that's good. That's a good sign. And we take the opportunity of this friendship being the bridge, the cultural and economic bridge that will link the Philippines and Vietnam. And we know for a fact that the present crisis obtaining all over the world will not escalate in this part of the world.
But let me say this about the future. Itong nakaraang isang taon, ang Pilipinas nag-file ng kaso laban sa claim ng China dito sa West Philippine Sea. Ano? At inaasahan na sasama ang Vietnam dito sa kaso. Ano? But instead, Vietnam has been negotiating with China. Ano? Nagkaroon ng riots. They're now offering to pay compensation. They are more intelligent diplomatically in relation. What is happening to our foreign policy, and what would you advise after seeing the Vietnamese and how they conduct their foreign policy?
Well, I can say, in fairness to the present dispensation, that I think Noy Noy can shine more when he is abroad, and he did a good job in establishing civility and opening up to friendly talks with, for example, China.
With the APEC meeting, it gave him an opportunity to shake hands with Xi Jinping. Nakangiti si Xi Jinping. Pero nung nagkamayan si Abe at si Xi Jinping, nakasimangot si Xi Jinping. Kaya pahiwatig ni Xi Jinping, you are a smaller, younger brother. Hindi tayo magkatalo. Pero sa hapon talaga, nakasimangot si Xi Jinping. Opening yan eh. Opening yan.
Look back at history. China was decimated. The greater powers divided China among themselves. And the first one that did that was Japan, you know. But let bygones be bygones, ika nga. And I think
you cannot tell that to the South Koreans and North Koreans and the Chinese.
Vietnam says let bygones be bygones.
Sa US, nice, no, they are really forgiving. Gone.
Yeah. Tama yung i-anchor ko na sinabi ni Eddie kanina na when you look at history back, makita mo talagang everybody, ginamit niya, almost everybody will have Chinese blood, sabi ni Ed. That is true. And kaya dito sa Philippine-Vietnam Friendship Association natin ito, ina-emphasize ni Ed, which we all want to do, people to people ito. If we love Vietnam, we also love the Chinese. And our strategic interest, to use a modern term, are for keeping our friendship with China as warm as possible, as well as our friendship with Vietnam. We don't want any internal quarrel. Yun ang policy natin dito.
And you know, Kamentong, you will note that what Gon said, no, this is a private initiative. This is a people-to-people initiative na walang kinalaman ng gobyerno dito. Kaya as much as possible nga, for courtesy, siyempre nandun ang ambassador natin. The ambassador of the Philippines to Vietnam.
What's the name again?
The Gerald Santos. Ambassador Gerald Santos. He was so nice, young, personable, and he was there with us. And however, we emphasize that this is a private initiative. The government has nothing to do with this. We only need the inspiration of our government. We only need the support of the government. If they can support us financially, fine. If they can support us with other needs, we will appreciate
last
that.
30 seconds. What's our message, Chairman?
Yes, nagpapasalamat po kami na nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na malapit sa atin at tayo sa kanila sa mga Vietnamese people. Na maski malapit nga sa atin geographically, kokonti ang nalalaman natin. Ito po magbibigay sa atin ng pagkakataon na magkakadiskubre na magkakapatid pala tayo. Sabi nga ni Ed, magkakamukha. Idadagdag ko lang na mas maganda yata ang Pinay. Alright, ngayon.
Amen.
Ngayon, ito pong asosasyon na ito, gusto naming malinaw, sabi nga ni Ed kanina, na ito ay gusto rin nating maging ehemplo ito, malapit din uli tayo sa China.
Okay.
Ang tingin po namin sa bridge natin sa China is administration connected.
Okay. Well,
Yung mga nag-iisip na hintay mo na lang mawala yan, ibalik natin ang dati, ako kasama po ako doon. Kasi gusto ko na talaga, itong kunyaring importante ito, meron tayong laban sa UN, okay lang sa akin yun, no problem. Pero wag natin kalilimutan, ito ang kuya natin eh.
okay. With that, we have to say goodbye and good night. Maraming salamat.
Well, Kamentong, again, thank you very much for guesting us, and
Kamento,
Thank
maraming
you.
salamat.
and your audience will expand further all over the
of
world.
course. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Mabuhay kayong dalawa at yung kasama niyo si Louie and the rest of the board. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. And stick to the discussion. We have a report from PNU. Okay, maraming salamat po.
Thank you.